virus and its disease. No one had the information to create an appropriate assessment to evaluate the reasonableness of decisions being made, although everyone, including myself, had opinions they were willing to put all over social media. But if this book was going to be relevant in a month, let alone a year's time, as I wanted it to be, I was going to have to refrain from being judgmental. That meant that there would be no politics or even applause for what seemed like the best policies, nor disdain for what seemed like the worst. For readers looking for that, you will have to get that elsewhere. In the end, what we have here is a hastily written book that no doubt leaves out citations to many who deserve it. Its purpose is to be an urgent source of clarification and a thoughtful take on the issues. In so doing, I was forecasting what we would potentially take away from this crisis and what we would want to reflect upon beyond the chaos of the first month or so. I'm hoping not to be completely wrong about all of that, but if I am, I will be the first one to call it out. I would like to thank my family with whom I am stuck in a house writing this. They put up with my crazy idea to push out a book when I could be less socially distant, at least inside our household. I would also like to thank Scott Adams, A.J. Agrawal, Pierre Azoulay, Heskey Bar Isaac, Francesco Bova, Kevin Bryan, Eric Budish, Bruce Chapman, Ben Fine, Catherine De Fontenay, Alberto Galasso, Avi Goldfarb, Steve Hamilton, Richard Holden, Chris Joy, Stephen King, Scott Commoners, Mara Letterman, Andrew Lee, June Ma, Tiff Macklem, Barry Nalbuff, Bob Pindick, Eric Rasmussen, Paul Romer, Scott Stern, Alex Tabarrok, and Flavio Toxvier for helpful comments and discussions. A special thanks for commenters on PubPub, in particular Patty Steele, with their many suggestions that improved the book. I would also like to thank my constant companion through this, #EconTwitter, who alerted me to much of the research cited in this book. Finally, I owe a special debt to Emily Tabor and the MIT Press team for acting so quickly to get this project out there. Joshua Gans, April 2020. 1. Health before wealth. We know what to do to bring our economy back to life. What we do not know how to do is to bring people back to life. His Excellency William Ado Dankwa Nana Akufo-Addo, President of Ghana, March 26, 2020. Everything is awful. The virus is awful. The immediate choices are awful. The future may be even more awful. We should have been more prepared. For almost a decade, one of the most popular apps was Plague Inc., 120 million downloads and counting. It showed us how diseases broke out and did their damage. When the COVID-19 outbreak hit, the app surged back to number 1 in China and was promptly banned in the country. In Plague Inc., you play the virus and your goal is to wipe out humanity. To the extent they have a goal, this isn't the goal of most viruses. Instead, it might be survival of its genetic structure, which would end should it wipe out its hosts. But never mind. From humanity's perspective, we would want to tool up on the tactics for viruses that would lead to extinction. COVID-19 is not that species-ending virus, but it does have some of the characteristics you would employ in Plague Inc. if you wanted to destroy us all. An inexperienced player normally goes for a highly infectious and deadly disease. But that is not the best course of action. First, because the virus is deadly, human scientists start working extra hard to stop the plague. Second, if you kill people too quickly, you actually slow down the rate of infection. Instead, what you want to do is find a way of infecting many people, preferably without any symptoms that would get the infection noticed. Then, you want to ramp up the disease after each infected person has spread it around, so that you overwhelm health centers before the world shuts down travel. COVID-19 fits that bill. People become infectious, many with no or just mild symptoms, but then there